The second largest country in the world right now is experiencing a crisis. Thousands of people are leaving Canada. Inflation, cost of living are the highest in the last 40 years. And on top of this, only in the month of July, about 7,000 people became unemployed. Drug addiction is openly rampant on the streets of Canada. Violence and crime rates are the highest in the last 30 years. And in the last 2 years, it has increased very rapidly. Renting and buying a house in Canada has become impossible for nearly 70% of the population. In the last 10 years in Canada, homelessness, meaning those people who don't have a place to live, their percentage has almost doubled. The second best country in the world, for which many people are standing in lines for immigration today, how it has reached this state, there are 4 reasons which we are going to discuss in this video. So pay attention to the video till the end. Canada is a really big country, second largest in the world. It's surrounded by 3 big oceans, the Pacific, Atlantic, and Arctic. One interesting thing is that the border between Canada and the United States is the longest in the world. Most Canadians live close to this border, with many living just 100 miles away, especially in Ontario. This province also contributes a lot to Canada's money-making, about 40%. The reason why many people live close to the border is because the weather in Canada is very cold, and there's a lot of fresh water, like lakes and rivers, all over the place. Canada is also very rich in natural resources like oil, coal, and natural gas. Most of Canada's electricity comes from water, making it the second biggest producer of hydroelectricity in the world. Industries like real estate, mining, and manufacturing are big in Canada, and they help people settle in different provinces. But even though Canada has lots of good things, not as many people are coming to live here as before. In fact, only 45% of people who came to Canada in 2011 have become Canadian citizens by 2021, while it was 75% in 2001. Some recent numbers show that 20% of immigrants are thinking about leaving Canada after 2018. This might mean there are some big problems that need fixing. The main reason for the problem is that living costs are going up. Since 2008, the price of houses has almost doubled, especially in places like Waterloo, Canada. For example, in 2017, a 1-bedroom apartment cost $900 to rent, but by 2023, it costs $2,000, which is a 120% increase in 6 years. Also, mortgages have gone up a lot. In 2015, they were about $1,400 per month, but now they're around $3,500. People in Canada earn between $4,000 to $6,000 each month on average, but it's hard for them to pay such high rents or mortgages. Even people with good office jobs, which usually pay more, find it hard to deal with these higher housing costs. A recent study found that 63% of Canadians have given up hope of owning a home because it's too expensive. Their yearly salary might be around $60,000, but after taxes, it's more like $50,000. After paying rent, they have very little money left for important things like food, travel, insurance, and sometimes buying things they need. This makes it really tough to buy an average home in big cities like Toronto, Vancouver, or Waterloo. It could take 10 to 15 years to save enough money to buy a house, especially for those who came to Canada after 2019. So high housing prices make it hard for many people to live comfortably in Canada. The second reason for the crisis is the slow job market in Canada. Canada relies heavily on natural resources like mining, manufacturing, and real estate for its economy. About 17% of Canada's GDP comes from these resources, and a large part of its exports depend on them. However, the focus on real estate has led to a housing bubble, diverting money away from other industries. Investors prefer real estate over businesses, which hampers job creation in other sectors. Canada's major export industries, such as oil and car manufacturing, are declining. Oil production, mainly in Alberta, faces reduced demand due to cheaper alternatives in the United States. Similarly, car manufacturing has shifted to countries like Mexico for lower labor costs, resulting in fewer jobs in Canada. Students, especially those from South Asian countries like India and Pakistan, face challenges in finding part-time jobs. The influx of immigrants and students, coupled with economic setbacks like the COVID-19 pandemic and global conflicts, has led to intense job competition in Canada, even in skilled fields like IT and finance. To succeed in Canada's tough job market, having unique skills is crucial. The recent surge in immigration has created an oversupply of workers, making job prospects limited. Aspiring immigrants should aim for exceptional skills to stand out in this competitive environment. Another reason that is making Canada less desirable is the increasing violence. Since 2020, there have been a lot of reported cases of armed robberies and murders in Canada. Many Canadian news agencies have reported such violent crimes which were never seen before in Canada. The most dangerous thing among all is unprovoked random attacks. Since COVID, such attacks on common urban people without any reason have become very common in Canada. You might be walking on the street and suddenly someone stabs you or pushes you or punches you and runs away. In 2021, there were nearly 1,700 such attacks only in Vancouver. According to crime experts, a major reason for these attacks is mental illness. Due to unemployment, inflation, and strict taxation laws, many people in Canada are mentally affected, and they do such actions out of frustration. Unfortunately, most of the victims were Asians, so there might also be an element of racism. Overall, if you ask someone who has been living in Canada for many years, they will confirm to you that recently, violence and crime rates have increased significantly. And the last thing that has damaged Canada's reputation is its healthcare system. Canadians used to take the most pride in their healthcare system, but now that too has been severely affected, especially after COVID. Many Canadian bloggers have raised this issue that before 2019, you could go to any clinic at any time and get an appointment with a doctor on the same day. But now people have to wait for many weeks and even months. The average wait time in Canada is currently 20 to 27 weeks, which means if you have any illness, you will get a number in the National Health Service after an average of 4 months. Yes, if you have a serious illness, you will have to go to the emergency, but even there, admission is based on priority. Patients with heart attacks or accidents are given priority, while others are put on hold. Similarly, cancer screening has also been given low priority, which has increased the risk of late cancer diagnosis. So all in all, Canada is not the same Canada that we used to hear about. Things have changed, and things have changed for the worse. Whether Justin Trudeau's government is responsible for this or not, you will get many different opinions on this. But one thing is for sure. The Canadian Prime Minister's approval rating is currently the lowest, and he is going to have a tough time in the 2025 elections. Even among Asians, you will find many different opinions. Many people are very unhappy with the increasing inflation in Canada, especially those who did not get white-collar jobs and are barely making ends meet. What do you know about Canada's situation, and how much do you agree with what has been said in this video? Share in the comments below. See you in the next video with another interesting topic. Thanks for watching. Take care and goodbye.